To discuss utility classes, and we are discussing utilities, um, all the WebDriver utility methods, and also first we'll finish the how to read the data from Excel sheets. Okay? Then we'll go on WebDriver utility methods. So there is a Excel utils. So Excel utils. So class is there. And Apache PY jar files we are going to use to read the data from Excel sheet. And so even you can read the data from Excel sheet using Apache PY jar files. So we already added Apache PY jar files in the form.xml. Anytime if you want to work with Excel sheets, you must add Apache PY jar files. Remember that. So those jar files, okay, so those jar files are important to work with these Excel sheets or Microsoft Word documents or Excel sheets, anything. And so that jar files will help us. What are the classes you are going to use? So there are two types of classes for a different type of files. We have a XSSF workbook, XSSF sheet. These are the one type of classes. There are HSSF workbook, HSSF sheet. These are the two types of classes. So XSSF workbook will work with for the XLSX format. HSSF workbooks will work for the .xls format only. And nowadays we are not using any more .xls, right? We are using XLSX only, most of the Excel sheets. So that's why we'll use this one only. Okay. So private XSF workbook and workbook object I created globally, and XSF sheet I created globally. So we have a public object two-dimensional array. So get test data, string path, string sheet name. Okay, so these are the main method, get test data method, which returns the object two-dimensional array. So for this method, we need to pass so the path of the file and which sheet in that file. Right? You can keep in the same file multiple sheets. You can keep in one file multiple sheets. So first, to read, you have to create a file object. File source file equal to new file and the path of the file. So FAS equal to new file input stream. So source file. So workbook equal to new XSF workbook and FAS. So you can just creating object for that and passing the value for this workbook. Sheet equal to workbook dot get sheet method. So you are giving the sheet name as an input for this. That sheet you are assigning the sheet object. So you need to get the rows and columns in this sheet. So how many rows, how many columns, which has the data. So that so you get the row count with a sheet dot get last row number, and a column count sheet dot get row of 0 dot get last cell number. Get last cell number. These are the ready-made methods. You don't need to write, okay? So these are all available in the XSF sheet class. XSF sheet class, we have already these methods and classes ready-made. You don't need to worry about them. And So once you get that, and you create a two-dimensional object array. Okay, we can create a two-dimensional object array. So two-dimensional object array is nothing but so right? So object two-dimensional array, array name equal to new object. So row count and column count you provide it. So row count, column count, you can provide that. So and so then you know how to iterate this two-dimensional, right? We need two for loops. First for loop so for int I equal to 0, I less than row count I plus plus. For int k equal to 0, k less than column count k plus plus. So sheet dot get row of I plus 1. So that means top row is going to have headers. That's why we are ignoring that I plus 1. If you are not putting headers, you can just write directly I because I is 0, right? That's why. And get cell of k. So get cell of k means row and column, both data you're fetching. So, and then you're storing in the two-dimensional. Then return that data. So this is the simple methods, and that will fetch the data from the so Excel sheets, and you can use this so method wherever you want to read the data from Excel sheets. So wherever you want to read the data from Excel sheets. Right. Okay, so that's the Excel, how to use whenever you want to read. Just call this method and provide the path and sheet name. So next we have a WebdriverUtils. This is the very important. All WebDriver related reusable methods we're going to keep in this class. And then you can call them wherever you need. Wherever you need, you can call them the methods only methods you will call. So that's why anywhere you go, first you should understand the utility methods. The reusable methods we need to understand. So we need to understand the reusable methods. So all of them. So, and those methods only we need to use in our test cases. So let's see first, WebdriverUtils, and I'm initiating the logger, and we declared again so driver and JS util already, JavaScript util yesterday we have seen, and wait object and JavaScript executor. So you can just see in the constructor inside I'm initializing all of them. So wait, actions, JSX, JSUtil, and page factory. So I need elements, driver this. So this is the one basically initialize all the objects of this class. That's init element method. So that's the init element method purpose. So that is the one thing. First method is refresh method. In the refresh method, again I am calling. So driver dot navigate method dot refresh method. So driver dot navigate method dot refresh. So that's a refresh method will. So because we are not calling entire thing, you can observe that. So you're not calling entire thing here. You're just so this, instead of writing this big one, you can call only simple this method. Next we have a get title. You can get the page title. So this method returns a again string type data. So driver dot get title. Instead of writing all this, you can just call this method. That's it. So get URL. So driver dot get current URL. All the methods here, the already existing methods, you are developing in your own way. So company to company, it will vary, but we need to understand. So we need to go and understand those functions. So that is important. So navigate browser back. So driver dot navigate method dot back. So browser forward. Driver dot navigate method dot forward method. So get by type. So what are the locator you are so providing, and you can get this by type. You can get this by type, you will get back. So you just give the locator name, automatically it will go and get that locator value. So get element, you can get the element. So you go based on the locator, you can get so that element, the web element you will get. flash element. You want to highlight the element. So this is the method. JSUtil.flash. So JSUtil.flash. So that is the method you can then you can get the list of elements by locator and whatever the info if you want to write, you can write. So right? So you can get list web element list equal to new URL list, and then so by type. So you can get. See, we have to use again find elements method here. Driver.find elements method. So that will return the list of list elements. Okay. So next is element present. So by driver.find element. So by. So you can check whether this element is present or not. It returns a Boolean value, true or false. And there is a one more. So I'll show you other one. Other way also you can get that. And you can see here in the if condition, so the try block itself return true. So if it's not there, it will go to catch block. So return false. So click. Say simple click method we have written web element. You just give the element for this method, automatically it will perform the click action. It will highlight the element, then it will click. So that's the multiple things you see. You are waiting, you are highlighting, and you are clicking. So this is the all three things you can do in the method. You don't need to again write multiple times, right? Only this method you can call it. So E is clickable. So whether this element is clickable or not, we can check. So E is displayed. Send data. So basically you can type or send data is basically typing, performing the typing action with this method. So again, I'm waiting for the element, then highlight the element, clear the content in this element, then type it. So this is all these tasks in one method we are writing. So that in the way every time you don't need to write this, only you will call this method and pass two arguments for this method. So get text method. So get text web element. So you can provide the element and it will fetch that text and returns a string format. Clear text web element. So wait dot until expected conditions, element to be clickable or not, it will check, and then highlight the element, then clear it. So you're calling clear method. So clear text with the backspace. Web element. Wait for that element and highlight that element. See the while loop we are using because you are pressing the backspace. So until you have to press the backspace until there is no content there. So that's this element, you get the value and that content should be blank. So then until that you press the backspace key. So that's the how to clear the content in the edit box. Get element text. Flash element. So highlight, then you get the text of that element. So get element attribute value. So you are getting the particular element attribute values. So highlight the element, then you get the attribute of that element. And this is also similar. Here you are using a locator, here we are using a web element. That's the difference. So these are all basically, and so we can say these two are the overloaded methods. So get element CSS value. Web element string CSS property. Flash the element dot get CSS value, CSS property. So you have to get it. And so is enabled. So you want to check whether the this element is enabled or not. So even by locator also you can find out is enabled method. So return is enabled, get element of locator. Is displayed. So we have is displayed method, right? The same name we have used, but all this instead you are writing, you are waiting for the element, then checking. Next we have is selected method with the web element, is selected method with the locator also. So whichever you want, you can use those methods. And check. So you can check whether this this element is checked or not. This element is checked or not, you need to check it. So check by locator. So you are just checking. Then we have uncheck also. So if it is selected, you click it so that it will check uncheck automatically. So here uncheck with the locator also. Submit method, you can use the submit wherever the login forms, search forms, registration forms are there. You can submit on those elements. So that is a submit method. Select all the select methods, select option by visible text. So I'm using again select class methods. So select class methods is basically for drop down. So for a drop down, you will use that. So select cell, new select element, wait dot until expected conditions dot visibility of element, select by visible text, option to select which option you want to select. You give that option to select. Select option by value attribute. So create object for select class and cell dot select by value. So value. So select option by index. So create object for select class, cell dot select by index you can give. So get all drop down options. See, you don't need to do these things again and again, right? So just you can call this method, and that method will so give a list of options. This you have to give drop down element. Get drop down size. So you can just get all drop down options. This method I am calling. Then I call the size method, because the list, right? This is the list dot size method. Get all selected options. So you're just calling that method only, but this one independently it will execute. So that's this returns again list. Get selected a drop down value. So you need selected drop down values. We need to get it. So how can we get them? So get first selected option dot get text method. You have to call. And then is drop down option exist? So web element string option to verify. So see that you can create object for select class. So boolean exist false. List web element option equals cell dot get options. And you can just iterating this collection. And if you know, so this the text is equal to this option to verify, then you're making exist is equal to true. Break. If exist, so you can say that selected option exists there, else it is not going to exist. Do select a drop down value. So you can select no. So based on the select class, you can select an option. So with a for loop also again. But these are all not necessarily directly methods you can use that above we discussed already. So no need of this much big one. So this one is again, so you know already, if there is a option, because a list of options drop down, you can get this, the list of options, all of them you can get and iterate. So this also we learned in the beginning, right? So we have created a method. With that method, we selected a different options with that, but same logic. This is the logic we use it there. And so you can select the option. So from this list of elements, this option you can select. That's how to select an option from list of elements. And then we have a get elements. Get elements text. So you can get all the elements, text one by one. And this is a list of, first you are getting all the elements. And then, so you are creating your own array list to store each element text here. So in this collection. So first iterate this web element list and e.get text. And this text you can add to this collection. So list dot add text. So return that collection of elements. Is single element exist? So you get all the collection, the count. If count equal to 1, that's a single element. Is 2 elements exist? Same way, if the count is equal to 2, that you can say return true. That means a 2 element exist in this location. Is multiple element exist? So greater than 1 means that's a multiple element exist there. So what particular count you want, you verify. So actual count and this expected count, both are same, then you return. And all the actions class methods, again, we have seen select class methods. get element methods, Boolean commands, and type method, click method, get text method, everything we have seen. So now actions class. So actions class is click by actions. Click by actions, web element, and wait dot until. So expected conditions element to be clickable. Act dot click dot perform. So you just see, you can click with a normal click,